Okay, so I just watched the first episode of the new Beyblade X anime, and it was... But before I get into that, let's talk about what we knew before it aired. First of all, Takara Tomy brought an absolutely stacked production out, with the manga being illustrated by the mangaka behind The Promised Neverland, Posaka Demizu, and written by both Homura Kawamoto and Hikaru Muno, the duo geniuses behind High Card. What's High Card? The anime itself is being directed by Katsuhiro Akiyama, returning from his work on Beyblade Burst, and has previously worked on other popular shows like Tokyo Mew Mew and Yokai Watch. The studio director is Sotsu Terada, who's also worked on Burst, as well as having a couple animation credits in Digimon and Precure. Muno is credited for the original concept, so he seems to be the main creative force behind both the manga and anime, which are pretty closely tied together this time around, as I'll talk about in a second. The studio behind the production is OLM, also returning from their work on Burst. Kazuho Hyoda is in charge of the series scripts, who's also worked on series from Mobile Suit Gundam to Persona 5. And while Demizu is designing the characters, their anime counterparts are being adapted by Yoshihiro Nagamori, who's also adapted designs for all previous Beyblade series except for Burst, and also apparently worked on Bakugan? Legend. So, as much as Takara is hyping up this 4th generation for their 25th anniversary and trying to sell it as a more serious toy, they're going all in on the production. So, finally, yesterday, on October 6th at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, they aired... Fuck yeah, I'm so hyped from the first second. Guys, I know I cover a lot of toy anime, but Beyblade has always been my favorite. We get the first opening, episode 1, thankfully, looking at you, Horizons, and it's a banger right off the start. Prove by 1OK Rock knocks it out of the park, and they're really starting with a different tone than I'm used to. Once again selling the idea that this is not just any other Beyblade series. The show immediately starts off with Kazumi Bird, voiced by Shuichiro Umeda, famous as the voice of Pochita from... Oh god, not the Pochita I was thinking. Bird enters X City with dreams of becoming a pro blader, along with his 2 friends and teammates. They go to an amateur battle arena where they have their first battle. Bird faces a pro team, the Phalanx. He shoots at his bay, Strike Hawk, which seems to be a modified whiz arrow, and then... he immediately loses, in one shot. The leader of the pro team takes his Beyblade and crushes it. Apparently there's some Bay eugenicists who want to murder all the weak Beyblades so that only the strong bladers make it into X Tower. In an instant, Bird literally loses everything. His friends break up the team and leave him, crushing him, telling him he's no Bay genius. He's a Bay dum-dum. So, Bayless, friendless, and down on his luck, he goes out into the street, where he's found by Common X, voiced by Soma Saito, a mostly video game voice actor. Or a boy going by Common X, I should say. Now, at this point, I had completely missed a certain someone being in the background of the introduction scene when Ryugu Chrome and his team become champion of X Tower. And I had been trying to avoid the manga, so while I knew from the promotional images this was X-Cross, I did not yet know that he was on the champion team, putting me in the same boats as a first-time viewer who isn't chronically online. X-Cross asks Bird to join his team, showing off his drawn sword. Bird thinks it's a fake, but Cross sets that aside for now, marches back into the amateur stadium, and challenges Team Phalanx. The team leader continues to kick Bird while he's down, but Cross steps up to him and tells him, if you think the weak shouldn't use Beyblades, then why don't you quit? And this scene is so great. Bird came into the first episode just as optimistic as any protagonist. And when Tyson or Ginga or, I haven't seen Burst, I know I'm so bad, but probably that guy, when the hero is knocked down, they get right back up and fight again and win. But Bird is trying to avoid fighting again. It feels like X is really trying to push the team idea, with the series splitting the protagonist's main attributes into the 3 protagonists. With Bird so far representing the rookie or audience surrogate, while Cross takes on the more confident role and being our series' strong attacker. And based on the preview at the end of the episode, Multi might be the sort of Bay smart guy. We'll see. But anyways, Cross gets the Phalanx leader riled up, and they battle. He knocks out the first blader in one shot, and their leader, sticking to his ideology, crushes his own teammate's Bay for losing. The leader, though, takes a few more hits when it's his turn, having a defense-type Mountain Beyblade, which seems to be designed after Night Shield. But when Cross ratchets to the gear system, he performs an extreme dash, knocking the Mountain out of the stadium, winning the battle. In the end, we get the reveal that Common X is really X-Cross, and he has the real drawn sword. I love, though, that Bird at first thinks he's Chrome, despite them having completely different proportions. Then we get the amazing ending theme by the group aespa, aespa, and a preview for the next episode where it seems Multi will be introduced. It looks like she'll be the one to give Bird his new Bay, Hellscythe. She also shows up a couple times in this first episode, despite being absent in the manga. And this is where I think it's a good time to talk about the anime and manga differences. So, the anime and manga are very similar in their general plot, with only a few minor differences. And this is actually pretty unique, because at least with the Metal Fight and Plastic eras, the manga was very different. Metal Fight's manga was very different, especially from the anime. Again, I can't speak from Burst. I own the Burst manga, but I just haven't read it yet. But some of the differences include Bird's Beyblade having a different design in the manga, and while the anime added some more scenes and dialogue with his old team, it also took away a lot of the flashbacks that I feel grounded and added to Bird's character. Maybe they decided to move them later in the series, though, because that is a lot to pack into one episode, and I already felt like it was pretty fast-paced. But in any case, it's a really great start to the series, and I'm really curious to see where they're going to go with this. The art is great, and the CG animation is the best it's ever been. I am a little worried with how the battles will go moving forward, though. They've been very short so far, but I'm sure that's just because it's the beginning and they'll get more elaborate with time. But the gimmick with the extreme dash has me a bit worried. In a real match, I think the randomness of that occurring makes it really dramatic and fun to play with. I've had a lot of fun using the extreme dash. However, when it comes to narrative-wise, I'm wondering, will every battle just end with an extreme dash? Also, with bursting now being 2 points and games being 2 out of 3 matches, will we never get to see a burst finish because it'll end a battle too quickly? We'll have to see where it goes. I'm just a little bit worried about narratively how the battles will go, and I hope they don't get too repetitive. I'm also a bit curious why they don't have alternates in their teams, like they did in the Plastic Gen or during Metal Masters, but they may be saving this 4th spot for a new character later down the line. However it goes, I'm just excited to keep watching, and if you want to view it, it's currently only available on YouTube, on Beyblade X's official channel with a VPN. But if you don't have that, or if you do and don't speak Japanese like I do, I'm sure there will be fan subs very soon. Pokemon Horizons is in a similar situation where there's constant turnaround, but I do know the Beyblade community is a lot smaller than Pokemon, so just have some patience. I'm sure it'll come out soon. And if you want to buy any of these amazing Beyblades for yourself, please get them. They are so cool. I have all of them currently. You can use my affiliate link in the description, where you can go to Bay Warehouse, which has currently imported and is selling them. They also have a lot of other great Beyblades, from the Metal Fight series to Burst, including some original Hasbro ones still in their packaging. Or if you want to buy them directly from Japan, which I recommend if you plan on using the Beyblade X app, you can also use my Amazon link to go to Takara Tomi's store page, both in the description. And as always, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'll try to cover important events with Beyblade X, and once the first season ends, I'll be back here for a longer review. And with that, if you've also seen the first episode, please leave a comment with your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Peace.